A mix is generally just an hour long, or 30 minutes, could be any amount of time of music that's strung together that wasn't otherwise strung together. So different works. The question I still answer is, what's the point? What am I trying to say? How do I want to make people feel? That question comes first, and then how I make people feel at the end of the mix is one question, but throughout the mix, there's a question every 3 minutes, however many tracks there are. It depends on the situation. If I'm trying to go for a certain feeling, there are certain tracks that will elicit that feeling. Those moments might have a lot of energy, wherein people are dancing a lot or kind of hooting and hollering, or they're very in their own world, still dancing. And so when I'm picking tracks, I want to mix those two experiences. I don't want it to be full gas, hooting and holler the whole hour. Provide people a little bit of a roller coaster ride of energy. And so when I'm picking a mix, I just want to make sure there's a flow and that people can apply themselves to it easily. Curveballs is what I call them. When you play a track you might have otherwise not found on your own, or listened to, or thought you would enjoy. There have been times when I've heard a mix and go, oh my God, I heard that track and I didn't like it at first, or I never thought I could spin it that way. I'll say this, there's like a broader house music canon that I generally try to tap into: peace, love, unity, and respect, or resistance. Just simply saying, I'm going to say something, I'm going to make a point, and it'll be out there. And so when you're playing music, you want people to feel like they're allowed to dance and they're allowed to be themselves. But then I try to play mostly local music, or music that I know my friends enjoy, because ultimately I want to get a couple moments where people pop, but I really want to make sure people have a positive experience. Part of the reason why I think we enjoy music so much is because they can get stuck in our head, and anytime we hear a track, we can get a rush of all of these positive memories that come with associated that track. And I think if you are ready to allow that to happen, to allow yourself to express positive feelings and to express vulnerability, there has to be like a willingness to engage with others, with the space, and with yourself, so that people see that and know that that vulnerability is okay, and this is the space for it. It's a place where you can be surrounded by strangers but feel at home. Let's, like minimal techno, for example, some people have a hard time listening to it, and I think it's because they don't necessarily know what to look for, or what is a standout moment in that specific genre. And I feel like maybe the way I describe it is it's very minimal, so there's not a lot of substance happening. With maybe 4 or 8 voices, they can define a grid. You know, they have a kick on the 4/4 and something on the off, something to define what you're supposed to dance to, and then they add a little more movement in there. And it's the moments that they break the grid that they've defined are those are the exciting points. I feel like Detroit, as still an evolving city, allows for cultural development, because there's such a heavy presence of artists and people willing to step outside of comfort zones and make things. The least I could do is be active in a practice and at least practice with other people for the sake of practicing, because we can both mutually learn a lot about technique and cultural development. Those things just sort of, I think, happen in time. I see those as like any instance of collaboration is a progressive moment in the culture, and there's just a lot of that here. For me, living in Detroit almost puts like a little bit of like, do it. You know, you're here, so you should do it.